The teenager had only just moved into the new house when strange voices began echoing in his room. At first, he thought he was imagining things, but as the nights passed, the whispers persisted. He confided in his older brother, hoping for reassurance, but was met with laughter instead. His brother, perhaps sensing his unease, suggested they go for a walk and enjoy the fresh air. Umbrellas in hand, they strolled through the rain, lost in conversation. Then, the older brother's phone rang. It was their father. He needed him to return home to look for something he had misplaced. Without hesitation, the older brother turned back, leaving the teenager alone in the rain. But he never made it home. On his way, a black car screeched to a halt in front of him. Several figures emerged, their intentions unmistakable. They weren't just after his wallet, they wanted something more. A struggle broke out. He fought back with everything he had, managing to hold his ground. But just as he thought he had a chance, his younger brother appeared in the distance running toward him. Before the teenager could reach him, the men overpowered his brother and dragged him into the car. In a heartbeat, they were gone. Panic surged through him as he raced back home. The moment he burst through the door and told his parents what had happened, darkness consumed him. He collapsed. The next morning, he woke to find detectives in the living room. They bombarded him with questions about the abduction. He gave them every detail he could, including the car's license plate number. But when they checked, their response sent a chill down his spine. There's no record of that plate. In fact, that type of car doesn't even exist in South Korea. His frustration boiled over. How could that be? He saw it with his own eyes. Days dragged on. Then, on the 19th day, he returned. His older brother stood at the doorstep as if nothing had happened. Relief should have washed over him, but something felt off. A few hours later, the detectives arrived for questioning. They bombarded his brother with questions, but all he could offer were blank stares. He remembered nothing after the kidnapping, and yet, the younger brother wasn't convinced. He began noticing things, small, unsettling details. His brother would sneak out late at night. At first, he limped on his left leg. Then, without explanation, the limp shifted to his right. When questioned, he simply shrugged it off as paranoia. So, the teenager decided to act. That night, he pretended to sleep. As expected, his brother slipped out. Without hesitation, he followed. He trailed him to a taxi, watching from the shadows. Then, something strange happened. His brother, who had never smoked a day in his life, lit a cigarette. But that wasn't the real shock. He stopped in a dimly lit alley where a group of people awaited him. Their voices carried through the night. They called him boss. The teenager's breath caught in his throat. Wait, hold on. Aren't those the same people? The detectives?